In last class, so we have learnt about units of wavelength. What are the units of wavelength, and what is the value of wavelengths of different colors, and definitions of plane angle and solid angle. Okay, so in this session we are going to learn about some of the lamps, different types of lamps. So main objective of this session is, so on completion of this topic you would able to know that applications of lamps for different situations, and domestic, industrial, decorative, advertisement, street lighting and flood lighting. So the phenomenon of glare and requirement of good lighting. Okay, these are the topics we are going to learn in this session. So first topic is types of lamps. Lamps are classified into incandescent lamps, arc lamps, discharge lamps. Incandescent lamps means we are using in our domestic purpose and anywhere industrial, anywhere labs. Arc lamps, another kind of lamp is discharge lamps. Under the discharge lamps we have some types: sodium vapor lamp, mercury vapor lamps, fluorescent lamp, neon lamps. These are the comes under the discharge lamps. Okay, so let's see the lamps for different situations. Okay, domestic lighting. So domestic lighting means the requirement of illumination varies from place to place. Of course, such as in study room we use different kind of lamp light, and in drawing room, in bedroom, veranda and toilets we use different kinds of lamps. Okay, so incandescent lamps, fluorescent lamps, compact fluorescent lamps are well suited for domestic lighting. Okay, so in domestic lighting, because in lighting we use incandescent lamp, uh, that is nothing but a filament lamp. So nowadays we are using fluorescent tube. Okay, next compact fluorescent lamps, small fluorescent tubes, is nothing but LED lamps. These all are best suited for domestic lighting. Okay, we can see in study room, drawing room we use the fluorescent lamps. In bedroom, compact size fluorescent tube, and veranda small size of fluorescent tube. So these are the different lamps used for different situations, different places. Okay, so next, uh, these are the domestic light. Domestic light means the requirements of illumination varies from place to place, such as study room, drawing room, bedroom, veranda and toilets. Okay, so at these situations we use incandescent lamp, fluorescent lamps, compact fluorescent lamps are well suited for domestic lighting. So next kind of lamps are lamps for different situations. Industrial lighting. Sufficient light in industries increases the production quality of work and reduce the accidents. Okay, so mainly illumination is very important in industries, mainly because they use uh, sufficient light is required while performing any job on any machine. So that's why lighting is very important, so to increase the production and quality of work and reduce the accidents. So an illumination of about 200 lux is required to obtain daylight. So we require 200 lux lux or candle power is required to obtain the daylight. That is 200 lux of illumination is equal to daylight for performing the job in industrial purpose. Okay. These are lamps for different situations. Next, lamps for different situations. Incandescent, fluorescent, compact fluorescent, and mercury vapor lamps are suited for industrial lighting. The lamps should be mounted sufficient height to provide uniform illumination without any glare. In case of traveling crane, side lights with deep reflectors should be provided. Machines shops are usually provided with general and local lighting. Okay, so here different lamps are used for different situations. So incandescent, we provide we provide this kind of lamps for domestic purpose. Incandescent, fluorescent, and mercury vapor lamps are suited for industrial lighting and as well as domestic purpose. The lamp should be mounted at sufficient height. Okay, so the lamps, those height means that is a height from ground level to the lamp point. So that height should be the some value for some fixed value. So that height is very important because to provide uniform illumination. Uniform illumination means it has to radiate the all directions of the room. So we get the we have to get the best illumination. So we should keep the lamp from ground level is sufficient height without any glare. Glare is also very important. Okay, so this lamp should be mounted at sufficient height to provide uniform illumination without any glare. In case of traveling crane, side lights with deep reflectors should be provided. So in the traveling crane, side lights are there both sides, so they provide deep reflectors should be provided, okay, to avoid the glare. Okay, so next, machine shops are usually provided with general and local lighting. Machine means any machine shops are usually provided with general and local lighting. These are the lamps for different situations. Okay, next, decoration lighting. Decoration lighting is provided in functions in tourist places such as Lord Venkateshwara Temple, Taj Mahal, Golden Temple, Vrindavan Gardens, etc. These are the decorative lighting purpose. MV lamps, mercury vapor lamps, sodium vapor lamps, incandescent, fluorescent, halogen, series, and neon lamps are used for decoration purpose. Okay. MV lamps play an important role in decorative lighting. So you see, mercury vapor lamp, sodium vapor lamps, incandescent, fluorescent, halogen, series, and neon lamps are used for decoration purpose. You see these kind of lamps are used in decorative lighting. So main areas, any temples and parks, and in function halls, in any public area, they use decorative lighting system. Those includes the MV lamps, SV lamps, mercury vapor, sodium vapor, incandescent, fluorescent, halogen. Because which these lamps radiates some glitter than the other lamps. It gives it very attractive. That's why it is called decorative lighting. It looks like the color of those lamps are different. That looks very pretty. So that's why these mercury vapor lamps, sodium vapor lamps are used for the decorative purpose. And halogen lamps also, neon lamps, series lamps are also used for the decorative purpose. Okay. Next, MV lamps play an important role in decorative lighting. So mostly MV lamps, mercury vapor lamps are used for decorative lighting. So next, lamps for different situations. Advertisement lighting. Next, advertisement lighting. This type of lighting is used to attract the public. This type of lighting is used to attract the public and to increase the sales. Yes, dress materials, signboards, cosmetics, automobiles, road junctions, public places, and domestic appliances, etc. comes under this category. Almost all types of lamps with reflectors are used for advertising lightings. Here. So advertisement lighting means actually these are used to attract the persons. It gives a attraction. Generally, these kind of lamps are used in shops, wardrobe shops, signboards, okay, cosmetics, to view very attractively. Okay, automobiles, road junctions, public places, and domestic appliances, etc. comes under this category. Okay, almost all types of lamps with reflectors are used for advertisement lighting. If the lighting is provided, if that lamp is provided with reflector means those are used for advertisement lighting. Okay, next, lamps for different situations. Street lighting. The purpose of street lighting is to promote safety and convenience to pedestrians, vehicles, police supervision, and other purposes. Generally, why we are providing the lighting in the streets, because to promote safety and convenience to pedestrians, vehicles, police supervision, and other purposes. Street lighting is very important. The high illumination is required on traffic roads and shopping centers. Yes, high illumination must be provided on traffic roads, okay, and shopping centers. Okay. Floodlighting. It is a nighttime lighting. Floodlighting means it is a nighttime lighting of exterior areas such as open area of industry, railway ads, sports stadiums, quarries, and temples. Floodlighting to parks, gardens, lakes, flower beds, buildings, and ancient monuments should enhance the beauty and attract the public. MV lamps, SV lamps, and halogen lamps with water-tight reflectors are used for floodlighting. Okay. Flood lighting means it is a nighttime lighting of exterior areas such as open area of an industry, railway ads, sports stadium, quarries, and temples. So flood lighting to parks. Generally, we provide the flood lighting. Flood lighting means it gives a attraction to the public. It seemed to be very beautiful light, very beautiful. So that's why these lighting is used at the parks, gardens, lakes, flower beds, buildings, and ancient monuments should enhance the beauty and attract the public. Generally, for this lighting, we use the MV lamps, mercury vapor lamps, and sodium vapor lamps, and halogen lamps with water-tight reflectors are used. They have the reflectors, watertight reflectors are used for flood lighting. See, illumination of different practical sources. Let us see. Summer midday in open cloudless sky, 1 lakh lux. Oh, so much, very high amount of candle power. That summer midday in open clouds sky is equal to 1 lakh lux. Summer midday under a balcony, 2000 to 300, 3000 lux. Summer behind a window, 1000 to 3000. Winter midday in open cloud sky, 10,000 lux. Sunrise and sunset, 500 lux. Full moon and bright sky, 0 to 25 lux. So this is here lux means that is a unit of illumination. These are the illumination values for different sources, different practical sources, which are exactly equal to the sources. So that means in summer midday in open cloud sky, the sun gives the almost equal to 1 lakh lux, 1 lakh candle power. See the very high amount of candle power we are receiving, candle power or illumination is receiving at in the summer midday. Very high amount of light energy is radiating from the sun. Okay, these are the some of the illumination levels of practical sources. Next topic is glare. Glare is defined as unwanted light. Suppose unwanted light means how we can say that glare is high amount of light is focused on the eye. So that means we do not require that amount of lighting to our eyes to that particular pace. That is called, that extra illumination is called here glare. So we use we have different illumination levels for different situations. Okay, based on the application, different applications. So here, while providing the any lamping system in any room, in any for any application, so we must study we must consider the glare of that lighting for particular application. So suppose for bedroom we require less amount of illumination at night time, at bedtime. So that's why we use some 0 watt bulbs. Okay, so we do not require high amount of illumination at night time. Okay, so for example in drawing room or in office room, in study room, we require a high illumination level. Okay, so that's why illumination levels are for different we have different types of illuminations for different situations. Okay, so here glare is very important concept in lighting system. Glare is simply defined as the unwanted light. It is also defined as the light over and above that required for the performance of a visual task under most comfortable viewing conditions. Okay, so light over and above that required, it gives the beyond that required value for the performance of visual task under most comfortable viewing condition. Okay, if the human eye is exposed to very bright light, the pupil, dark circular opening in the center of the iris of the eye, contracts in order to reduce the amount of light admitted and prevent damage to the retina. This phenomenon is known as glare. Okay, suppose if our eyes is exposed to very bright light means it experiences a high illumination, high lighting. So the pupil means, what is it, the dark circular in our eye is called pupil. The dark circular opening in the center of the iris of the eye contracts in order to reduce the amount of light admitted and prevent damage to the retina. This phenomenon is called glare. And practically this is technical meaning. So practically, generally when we experiences very high bright light, so what should we do? Immediately we close the eyes to prevent damage to the retina. So that concept, that phenomena here, it is called glare. So that's why this glare is unwanted light. So that much of glare, that much of bright light our eye is not able to receiving. Okay, so that's why we should consider the glare while selecting any lamp for different applications. This is the glare. It is well familiar in connection with vehicle headlights. Of course, if a lamp without reflector is mounted at very less height from the floor causes glare. Glare is also caused when high power lamp or high shining objects are seen. Okay, see, when we experiences the glare means it is well familiar in connection with the vehicle headlights. We see vehicle headlights, I mean front lights, at night time. Opposite vehicle lights or bright lights or focusing on our eyes. Then what will happen immediately? That very bright, it gives a very bright light, because at night time, even if the small illumination, even a very low illumination, our eyes definitely for receiving the high amount of light, high amount of illumination. So must we familiar, if it is well familiar in connection with vehicle headlights means, so we experiences glare mainly with vehicle headlights at night time. Daytime nothing will happen daytime, so no need to switch on the headlights in daytime. So night time definitely we experience the glare. Okay, by seeing the vehicle headlights. Next, if a lamp without reflector is mounted at very less height from the floor causes glare. That means if any lamp is mounted at very less height from the floor, then what will happen? It causes glare. Okay, and without reflector. So if we provide the lamp with less height provided with reflector, then there is less chances of glare. So if we provide reflector with very less high height from the floor, it does not causes any glare. So that's why, so some our Indian standards are available, are there, for maintaining the distance from the floor to the lamp holder. That's why we should maintain that height. Okay, so without maintaining those standards, we cannot provide any lighting and anything in the electrification part. So that's why we provide the lamp at a particular height from the ground floor for the floor. Okay, so then here we can conclude that when glare experiences, if a lamp without reflector, if we provide a reflector to that lamp, then there is less chances of glare. Okay, so if a lamp without reflector is mounted at a very less height from the floor means, definitely it causes very high glare. So we have to provide the reflector, and at the same time we maintain the height, one standard height from the floor. Okay, next, glare is also caused when high power lamp or high shining objects are seen. When we get the high power, when we get the glare is also caused when high power lamp or high shining objects are seen. Okay. So when we see suddenly, when we see the high power lamp or high shining objects are seen, then we experiences the glare. Okay. These are the some situations in that applications or in situations we experiences the glare. Okay. Next, need of good lighting. What is the need of good light? Good lighting makes a seeing easy and comfortable. Visual comfort increases the efficiency of the workman. Generally, generally, good lighting is very important for any application, while performing any job. So we should provide the good lighting system for increasing for comfort increases visual comfort increases the efficiency of the workman. So next, when light is too dim, we cannot observe the objects properly. So on the other hand, if light is too bright, we feel straight to open the eyelids. Okay. So when light is too dim, what happened? Light is very less brightness, very low brightness, then what will happen? We cannot observe the things, we cannot observe the objects properly. On the other hand, if light is too bright, what will happen? We feel strained to open the eyes. So that's it. This is not good. Good lighting means it should not give highlighting, it should not give highlight, high illumination, and it should not give low illumination. It maintains constant, some uniform illumination. So that's it. We cannot experience any glare. Next, if the eyes are opened by force, the water comes out and it makes seeing uneasy and discomfort. If we experiencing glare on the eyes when we see high brightness, then what will happen? If even though we open the eyes by force, suddenly the water comes out and it makes seeing uneasy and comfort. So that's it. So providing these situations, we provide the good lighting. That should not be that lighting that should not dim, and that should not high bright. So we maintain the normal good lighting. Next, requirements of good lighting. What are the requirements to maintain the good lighting? Illumination level. The visibility of the object depends on the level. The visibility of the objects depends on the level of illumination, which in turn depends on the state of object, size of object, period of observation, color of object, background contrast. The visibility of the object depends on the level of illumination, which in turn depends on the state of object, size of object, period of observation, color object, and background contrast. Okay, so these are the level of illumination, which in turn depends on the, of course, illumination level of any room or depends on, or any situation is dependent. What is the state of that object, and size of object, period of observation, and the color of object, background contrast. These are the some terms. So the illumination level is mainly based on depends on these terms. Okay. So that means illumination, good illumination and bad illumination can be defined as by these terms. Okay. So by taking into consideration of these terms. Next, uniformity of illumination. Uniformity of illumination. The human eye adjusts itself automatically to the brightness within the field of vision. If there is a lack of uniformity, the iris of eye has to adjust more frequently and causes fatigue to the eye. Okay. Uniformity of illumination. The human eye adjusts itself automatically to the brightness within the field of vision. So if there is a lack of uniformity, the iris of the eye has to adjust more frequently and causes fatigue to the eye. For uniform illumination, general and local lighting with brightness ratio not greater than the 3:1 is to be provided. Okay. So here some standard ratio is there to maintain the uniform illumination, that is 3:1. Okay. Next requirement is requirements of good lighting. Absence of glare. Absence of glare. Glare is defined as unwanted light. Okay. Requirements of good lighting. Absence of glare. The glare should be avoided. Okay. When we say good lighting, when we taking into consideration good lighting, that should not be that should have absence of glare. The glare should be avoided. If there is no glare, then definitely it will become a good lighting. Light sources should be mounted above the normal line of sight. By using diffusers and reflectors, glare can be reduced. Okay, so we can use the diffusers and reflectors for the lamps. Glare can be reduced. Reduced means some brightness has to be reduced. Okay, if the brightness is reduces, that brightness is unwanted brightness, so automatically glare is also decreases. Requirements of good lighting. Color of light. The color of the incident light affects the appearance of the object color. The composition of the light should be the composition requirements of good lighting. Color of light. The color of the incident light affects the appearance of the object color. The composition of the light should be such that the color appears is natural and makes no difference from the underlight. SV and MV lamps produce color distortion, can be used in street lighting. Okay, so color of light is also one of the factor to obtain the good lighting. The color of the incident light affects the appearance of object color. Okay, so if we use colors for the lamps, then objects seen in the different on the colors also. Okay, so the composition of the light should be such that the color appears is natural and makes no difference from underlight. The composition of the light should be such that the color appears is natural and makes no difference from the underlight. SV and MV lamps produce color distortion, can be used in street lighting. Okay, so that's why SV and MV lamps mostly are used for street lighting and decorative purpose, because which produce the color distortion. Okay, so next requirements of good lighting. Next one is shadows. Long and hard shadows should be eliminated. Long and hard shadows should be eliminated because they cause fatigue on eyes. Okay. Long and hard shadows should be eliminated because they cause fatigue on eyes. Complete absence of shadows is not an ideal lighting. Dull shadows are necessary to give the three-dimensional view of any object. So complete absence of shadows is not ideal lighting. So dull shadows are necessary to give a three-dimensional view of any subject, any object. Okay, so shadows also affects the good lighting. Okay, requirements of good lighting. In requirements of good lighting, contrast. One more requirement is contrast. The local lighting should be supported by general lighting, otherwise it causes strain on the eyes. Local lighting should be supported by general lighting. Local lighting should be supported by general lighting, otherwise it causes strain on the eyes. Okay, so local lighting means domestic. We use lighting in domestic purpose. So that's why. So in our houses we use general lights like fluorescent tubes, incandescent lamps, avoiding the contrast. Okay, or otherwise it causes strain on the eyes. So it's better not use the MV and SV lamps, these in our homes. Better to avoid such lamps, because otherwise it causes strain on the eyes. Next, summary. These are some of the definitions. So far we have discussed about applications of lamps for different situations: domestic, industrial, decorative, advertisement, street lighting and flood lighting, phenomenon of glare, requirements of good lighting. Okay. Here some of the questions are: a poor man, for his kitchen lamp is used SV lamp, MV lamp, incandescent, fluorescent lamp. Definitely incandescent lamp, because fluorescent SV lamp, MV lamp are much higher cost than the incandescent and fluorescent tube. So incandescent lamp is much less cost than fluorescent lamp. That's why he used the incandescent lamp for kitchen purpose. Next one more question is: glare is reduced by increasing the mounting height of the lamp, using diffusers, using reflectors, all of the above. So you can reduce by using diffusers, using reflectors, and increasing the mounting height of the lamp. So all of the above. So next, an illumination of about lux is required to obtain daylight. How much? 300 lux. Okay. When light enters into the iris, closes the protect the retina of the eyes. When which kind of light enters to our iris, immediately we closes the eyes to protect the retina. That is bright light. Okay, so these are some of the quiz questions. Frequently asked questions or state of the requirements of good lighting. What is the glare and how it can be minimized? Explain domestic and industrial lighting. These three questions are raised on these topics. So let us discuss shortly. Summarize the topics. Applications of lamps for different situations. What are the applications of lamps for different situations? Means domestic, industrial lighting. Domestic purpose, we use fluorescent, incandescent lamps or CAF lamps. Okay. For industrial purpose also we use incandescent, fluorescent, small CFL lamps. And decorative purpose, MV lamps, mercury vapor lamps, sodium vapor lamps. Okay. Advertisement also halogen lamps, neon lamps, street lighting and flood lighting. So these applications are used. Decorative lights, those are SV lamps, MV lamps and halogen, neon lamps. So these all are used for the decorative purpose. Okay. Next, phenomenon of glare. So it is very important topic. So far we have discussed in this session. So glare means that is simply you can call that uh, unwanted light. When we experience a very bright light, when we eyes experience very high bright light, then immediately we close the eyes to protect the retina of our eye. So when we provide any lighting for any application, so we consider the glare. It must be avoided. It's not safe to our eyes. Okay. So generally how it can be reduced means, how it can be reduced, if it is very familiar, how we can observe the very much glare in our daily applications. It is well familiar in connection with the vehicle headlights. Okay, vehicle at night time we experiences very bright light of the vehicle headlights. Okay. Some next second situation is, if we do not provide reflected to the light and also mounted at a very less height from the floor, then definitely it will cause the glare. And third situation is, glare is also caused when high power lamp, when we see high power lamp or high shining objects are seen under the light. So at this situation we experiences the high glare. Okay. So these are the where we can experience the glare. Next, need of good lighting. So requirements of good lighting: illumination level and uniformity of illumination, absence of glare, color of light, and next, shadows and contrast. These are the some of the requirements of good lighting. So when we say good lighting, that lighting is very good, it maintains the uniform illumination, means we must consider the we must take into account of these effects. Illumination level, we must observe the illumination level. Okay, that illumination level is depend upon the state of the object, size of the object. Okay. Next, requirements of good lighting. These are the requirements of good lighting. So next, so total 6 requirements are there to provide the good lighting. These are the topics that we have discussed in this session. Thank you.